On go. Alright guys, we are on Haunted Mines again. This is match number 2 of the day. Spawning on the left side, we have ESV Tempest, Treble on Brightwing, Nightmare on Falstad, Pythix on Vala, Paleon on Gazlo, and Toejam Earl on Tyrael. And on the right side of the map, we have SMG, Symbiote Gaming. We have Arthalon on Zagara. I love that Zagara skin color. It's so cool. Mad Timmy on Uther, Soldier on Kerrigan, Dreadnought on Diablo, and KO, I believe is how I always mess up. KO is on Tychus.
The Zagara is another thing. That's another one of the things that they brought. They didn't even bring it because like other teams never really picked up on it too much. But that's one of the heroes that they play a lot. She's not super popular in the meta. She's a great lane bully. Pretty much no one except maybe Tyrael beats her one-on-one in lane.
Really?
So she's very, very strong in lane. It's great for them to just either leave her alone bottom lane and let her control that while they have 4 people up fighting for giants, or you can put her in the top lane and push with her and put a lot of pressure on the top fort. But overall, I actually think this map, besides the Gazlo, kind of like I said, I don't particularly understand. The map is kind of good for which ESV team is it?
This is Tempest.
Tempest. It's kind of good for Tempest because it is a dual lane map. It's a little bit harder for the Kerrigan Diablo to roam and really be super effective on here, just because the teams or the different lanes are not as isolated. But we say that they are just choosing to put Lugar in the top lane and they're pushing super, super hard with that. And there's nothing Brightwing can do about that. But they are sending up the Vala and the Tyrael, so that will help with the wave clear. Problem is they got this Gazlo. He's not really going to accomplish too much early on, and I don't know, Symbiote has a really, really good team for bullying early on. I think they're going to punish the Gazlo pretty hard.
While we have a little bit of downtime, I guess there might actually be a fight here. Dreadnought is going to be poked away by Tyrael and Pythix, but they will back off. Don't think either team wants to commit too heavily to this. Tempest does have
this is Symbiote. They're happy to fight right here. They're looking for blood. They're not going to let Gazlo take that camp at all.
And that's what they do. They force them to back off. The camp wasn't taken, healed back to full. Now, you said something earlier that I'm a bit curious on. Brightwing will get away. You said Tyrael is the only one that can lane against Zagara. Why is that the case?
His smite, like if you're going through to Tyrael and you get the extra smite damage against heroes and stuff, his damage output is just absolutely absurd. He has his shield, which is always good for trading early on. He just has a ton of damage output, a ton of mobility. It's really mostly the damage output. It's just no one can trade damage with him well through the shield and the smite.
Okay, that's good information there. Did not know that. Now we do see that both teams are doing a good job of keeping people in lanes. If anything, SMG's the ones that have been out of lane a little bit more, but for the most part they've absorbed all their experience. The first camp did go to Team Tempest, and you know, it's something that we pointed out last game, or that you pointed out rather, that Descent, they weren't putting priority on the top lane. You know, you want to control the giants, and Tempest, they're putting more of a priority on the bottom lane. Is that because of the potential Gazlo? I mean, is there any reason why they should do that?
I feel like they thought there was absolutely no way they're going to be able to fight into Kerrigan, Diablo, Uther, Zagara. That's 4 really strong heroes for early game fights. So maybe they're just kind of saying it's better for us to trade, put 4 in bottom lane, and make sure we get something there. It's way too far forward. You can't do that against Kerrigan, Diablo.
Yeah, they
have asking to die.
They have scary initiation, and here comes the Tychus. If they can get that grenade to that, then this is going to be hard for anyone to get away, even the ones that do have outs. This poor Brightwing, Zagara Uther, that does not sound like a fun thing I would want to lane against. So here comes Tyrael coming up, going to try and push the wave out a little bit, but Zagara is just such a good bully early game. The Hydras can do some serious damage if you don't have you know, good enough heals for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good for Glorious that they took such control of the early game too, because if Tempest was in a comfortable position here, they do have Brightwing and Falstad, which would mean they could send their other 3 heroes into the mines and then still have the easy ability to fight just the Falstad and Brightwing's mobility. But as is, they're going in like really half-assed, and Symbiote already has all 5 heroes, so this is going to be fair.
Yeah, Pythix does end up going down. KO is getting kind of low here. They are chasing him, Treble and Paleon trying to get some damage, but the shield does come and he's able to dash out there. Nightmare coming up from behind, and you know, SMG, I want to point out that they have this tight little ball that they're sticking together, and they're always moving as one. You can tell the communication is good. As for Tempest, they just kind of seem to be spread out. There was a hero here, there was a hero there, and what was that, 2 kills in the mines? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it was. KO was actually kind of out of position, but if they had turned and tried to kill him, then they would have just gotten wiped for their troubles, so It wasn't really worth it. It didn't really cost them anything. And otherwise, that was really well executed. That's what Symbiote loves to do. They love to just fight like pitched battles early on. If they think a fight is going to happen, they'll just immediately group up everyone, descend upon it, and just kill whoever they find. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, here, SMG.
Tempest,
Go ahead.
Tempest just really underestimated how quickly they were going to respond to that there. They did not expect to have a team fight there. They figured it would be over at the big golem or something, give them time to group up.
SMG doing a pretty good job right now of making sure they have the lane experience. Diablo was just bottom, went into the mines to finish it up, though. We do have a fight going on top lane. Matt to be forced back under tower. Arthron trying to clean up these giants, and Zergar does a pretty good job of that. The Banelings do a lot of damage. The Roaches can do a lot as well. And really be able to save it. Gazel Laser doing a bit of damage to KO, but not enough to force them to back off, and then there the giants do fall. Got one of the walls, but they're not taking any of the towers.
And all this time, they have not had anyone in the mines. Right now, it's 61-4 skulls for Symbiote. And early game, there's been kind of a shift lately. I don't know if there was a ninja buff by Blizzard to the Golem, or if it was just a result of that one patch that changed how Golems scale, or just people were not paying attention to it properly before. But it used to be that the first Golem was considered pretty inconsequential. In the last couple of weeks, it's become very, very powerful. Like, if you get 10 and push with a bigger Golem, you get a fort for sure, and half the time you get a keep. And every once in a while, you'll actually just win the game off, because they take a bad team fight, and then they can't stop it. So this early Golem is going to be absolutely huge for Glorious, but it looks like Tempest, Symbiote. Looks like Tempest is actually going to catch Dreadnought and get a kill there.
He's trying to get away. Don't think he should be able to, though. That would be a really big mistake.
Yeah, running from Tyrael is pretty hard.
Yeah. And they have a lot of gap poses, and Dreadnought will end up falling. Unfortunately, he is Diablo. Collecting those souls is really important. He did not lose them all, though. He did not have the 100, right?
No, he didn't. He has the full death timer, which is good because there's no way that, like, he doesn't actually need to be up right now. It's not costing them anything to have him down, so that's not really going to be the end of the world. They're putting a lot of pressure up top, and they still have a massive Golem lead. It is 76-24 after all of that, so that's more than enough to take down the initial fort. And they are 10-8 right now, which means if they get a good team fight here, they can just win the game off. But especially with, they had very powerful team fights between Kerrigan, Diablo, Maw, Uther. Lots of dangerous stuff. If Tempest gets caught pumped up, they'll get up here.
It looks like SMG is just going to take this fort despite the enemy team's Golem pushing down this lane. They're starting to fight for it, and then they do have those heroics. We'll have to see how many of them are popped. Soldier looking like he's itching to dive in on this. If Tyrael goes in, that would be scary. Here he goes. He goes in for the dive, gets a stun on two of them. The grenade does go down. More than likely just kind of a zoning effect, trying to push the team back because they are not overcommitting for a chase. They're wanting to take this fort. And probably just transition straight up the top lane and see if they can get a second one.
Yep, that was really smart by them. They knew that at 10-8 there was absolutely no way Tempest could fight them, so they might as well just go get the fort, given that the other lane is going to be a guaranteed push for them with the Golem anyway. They knew they had enough time, and they knew there was no way Tempest could fight them, so really nice way to take advantage of that by Symbiote.
Still not level 10. Tempest has to be so careful here. Dreadnought looking like he's wanting to engage, and they're going to keep pushing. Their Golem is still over 75% HP. Do you think they'd be able to take the inner keep?
It's all going to depend, because Tempest doesn't even have their heroics yet. They're not level 10 yet. And Symbiote is actually approaching level 13 already, so like I said, one bad team fight, one good Kerrigan initiation, that could be the game, much less the keep.
Treble getting really low there. Golem is still above 50% HP. Tempest is dying to hit level 10 right now. They want it so bad. If they can get it, then they do hit it. Will they be able to engage in time, or are they just going to let this go? I don't know if they'll be able to fight them on this. It's level 12 to 10 right now. The fort is going to fall no matter. Yeah, it's going down here. No saving that.
Yeah, here you'd still be fighting into a Golem that's almost half health, and a team with better team fights. That's just, you can't win against that. They're going to have to fall back and try and defend the palace. I don't know if they can do that. It's still the Golem is still at a
they're going to end before 10 minutes? That would be crazy.
They're level 13, so they're up at talent again.
Wow, level 13 here it is. The engagement is happening. There goes the Emerald Wind down. The Gasm buff only hits two people. The Puckmas hits everybody. Wow, a complete wipe it looks like, and that everyone's being cleaned up. And the fall set is going to get away. Wow, this game's going to end before 10 minutes. This was kind of destruction.
It was, yeah. They just messed up. It was all that initial team fight down in the mines. Like, you can't give up something like that because the kills lead to. This is what I was talking about in that last game. Like, kills early on don't mean too much unless you can get something out of them. And on this map, you definitely can because the initial mines are so important. You can do them so quickly when you're up a hero. So just giving up those free kills there really kind of put the nail in the coffin. And really, really good team fighting by Symbiote in the end there. The Kerrigan and Diablo coordinated really well. It was the Kerrigan pulling in that guaranteed the big APOC at the end. At that point, the game was pretty much already over, but a nice touch by them to end it.
Well, really well played by SMG. You know, it just seemed like Tempest, you know, they aren't like a lost cause. You know, they seem to tweak their little bit of their drafting a little bit and you know, work on that team fighting synergy, not being too spread out. But SMG, I mean, they're scary good.